Here I am at Shanghai Disneyland, and this is Treasure Cove. I really want to film this land today because to me it's one of the most amazingly themed lands I've ever seen in any Disney park. And if you know Disney, that is quite a high bar. So let me show you why I think it is so amazing. Let's go. As we enter Treasure Cove, we've got the Explorer canoes here, one of the rides in this area. It's officially part of Treasure Cove, although the theming feels a little mixed between Treasure Cove and Adventure Isle. But going back this way, we'll enter the main area of Treasure Cove and its extensive pirate theming, which is what makes it so fun. Here we are. First, we've got this little Dantean warning. Lasciate ogni speranza voi qu'intrada. I'm probably wrong on my Italian, but it's something like that. And here we can get a view of the cove that is Treasure Cove. There's the launch point for the canoes. Way over there, that mountain is part of Roaring Rapids, which isn't in Treasure Cove but Adventure Isle. And here, perhaps by now you're beginning to see what I mean by how amazingly it's themed. You may be able to see that island in the middle has rocks shaped like skulls. We've got a shipwreck over here, and behind it, an intact pirate ship. Let's move on. Oh dear. Poor Pirate Pete was a pretty poor pirate. Guilty as charged. This is the signature attraction here. Pirates of the Caribbean, Battle for the Sunken Treasure. And it's different to the ones in other areas. It's much more high-tech. This is Shipwreck Shore, which is mostly a play area for kids. Take a gander again at these amazingly themed buildings. Even pretty cool themed toilets over there. This shop here is where the Pirates of the Caribbean ride dumps you off at the end.
An enjoyable experience. Please refrain from running. Have a magical day.
Disney, of course, loves to dump you off at a shop at the end to try to get you to buy stuff. This shop is called Doubloon Market. The ship here is called the Siren's Revenge. Another view of the cove from over here. Again, the mountain that is Roaring Rapids. shipwreck shore over there with its shipwreck. Also distant view of the castle. You can go on board the Siren's Revenge to see things too. Over here we got some snack areas. And here, a restaurant. Barbossa's Bounty. And this restaurant is kind of like the Blue Bayou in California because you can watch the Pirates of the Caribbean boats drift by you as you sit and eat here. Or alternatively, if you ride the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, you can see this restaurant. Unlike the Blue Bayou, though, this one is not a fancy sit-down restaurant. This one is counter service. And indeed, I think I've mentioned before that that is generally the case here at Shanghai Disneyland. Not as many sit-down restaurants, more counter service. Why is that? I would assume at least that it is because Chinese people are less inclined to spend as much on food as Americans are. I am not sure of that, but it certainly seems plausible to me. Now here is El Teatro Fandango, or the Fandango Theater if you want to speak English. And this is where they show a pretty cool show, Captain Jack's Stunt Spectacular. And it is a pretty cool show with, just as it says, loads of stunts. A lot of fun. The show is entirely in Mandarin, but even if you don't know Mandarin, I would recommend going to the show. A lot of it can be understood just because stunts are always fun. You don't need language to understand them. Tortuga Treats here normally sells a classic Disney snack, the turkey leg. And I'm sure they will, it's just very early today. Yeah, actually I'm noticing now the sign says open at 11 a.m., which it is not now. Another spiffy themed toilet here. And now we're coming to the end of Treasure Cove and entering Adventure Isle. So let's look at Adventure Isle also. As you might guess, Adventure Isle is basically the equivalent here at Shanghai Disneyland of Adventureland in other Disney parks. Here's one of Adventure Isle's premier attractions, soaring over the horizon. And yeah, it's the same basic attraction as soaring around the world at other parks, though the theming is different, since it's about going to a remote tribe that teach you how to fly instead of being about flying off of an old airfield. Over here you've got the Happy Circle, where you can sometimes find characters. That guy was trying to get out of my picture, but instead kept staying in it. Noble effort on his part, though. Ah, interesting. They have Avatar gear here. I suppose it must be because they have a licensing agreement with them, the same one they need to have that Pandora, the world of Avatar in Florida. Now we got a nice close-up view of this waterfall. And you got the challenge trails here, which is basically you get to go around these fun little rope course type things. Fun for some people, I admit. Not really my favorite attraction. I kind of deal with vertigo. My eldest had a really good time on it though. The challenge trails are a part of Camp Discovery here. Popcorn kiosk here, always fun. Over on this side, you can see the water, which is continuous with the water over at Treasure Cove. And in fact, the Explorer canoes go around this way. Here we are. Got some instruments here. Yay. Snacks here. A shop here. And over here, Roaring Rapids. The last major attraction in Adventure Isle. Which it appears they have not really even quite got working yet because the water is way lower than it should normally be. But you can still see it here, what it's like. If you're really worried about your stuff getting wet, you can rent these lockers. Ooh. And this stone statue provides a bit of a hint of what you might see on Roaring Rapids. I have footage from Roaring Rapids on other videos, but unfortunately I've never been able to show the non-stone version of that because it's just too hard to film in the low light and while moving fast. Guest services here. Tribal table here. Counter service restaurant. Back near the water. Over there you can see the Explorer canoes, which, as you might guess, unlike Disneyland in California, they are not called the Davy Crockett Explorer canoes because there's no Davy Crockett theme going on here. Neat little waterfall here. And we're moving on toward the exit of Adventure Isle. And here it is, we're leaving Adventure Isle. Hope you enjoyed this visit to Treasure Cove and Adventure Isle. If you did and you want to see more about my life in China, this would be a great time to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. See you all next time. Bye.